Do you remember the time when movies were made for light entertainment? When the most complex plot would be the comic scenario or two people falling in love? Well, gone are the times when a simple plot could create an uproar. We live in a world where superheroes exist, flying as possible, moving through dimensions as possible, and to top it all off, the visual technology today makes it feel oh so real. Every movie tells a story that takes us to a different time and place and lets us live that time with them even if it is for a short while. Movie lovers around the world have fallen in love with magic, watching Harry Potter grow, saved the Nine Realms with Gandalf, and wondered how Inception ended. Space travel, multi-dimensional jumps, magic, alien life, we've seen it all. And might I just add, we are hungry for more. Presenting to you a list of our top 60 fantasy movie list that will blow your mind and have you wishing you didn't have to leave. Because of the diverse and wide spectrum of this list, we have divided it into 3 parts, 20 films apiece. If there are movies that you have watched and like, please add a note in the comments. We would appreciate it. If you find movies in here that you may have missed, we suggest get your popcorn ready. All of these movies are easily accessible on every popular online streaming media providers such as Netflix, Hotstar, Amazon Prime. So stay tuned for upcoming parts and let's begin the countdown. Number 60. The Last Airbender. The movie is set in an alternate universe where people are divided into tribes by their ability to control elements: fire, air, water, and earth. An avatar is the messiah that is promised to save the people from conflict when there are clashes between the tribes. In the present scenario, the avatar has been missing for approximately 100 years and the Fire Nation has taken advantage of the situation and expanded their territory. The movie starts with the appearance of Aang, who claims to be an avatar but with incomplete training. As the movie unravels, the adventures of Aang to go undetected to avoid assassination attempts and yet save people as is his purpose is a very delightful experience. Wonderful and very well layered screenplay, amazing performance by Noah Ranger as Aang makes the film even more exciting and Number 59. Eragon. The film is based on the novel written by Christopher Paolini. It's the story of a farm boy named Eragon who finds a strange rock in the mountains. He brings the stone home and finds a blue dragon hatching from it. Eragon protects and feeds the dragon and teaches her to fly as she gradually grows to full size. Over a period of time, they develop a strong bond. When the evil king Galbatrix finds out the location of the egg, he sends the Razak to acquire it. Dark visual effects and the dragon plot makes this film really interesting to watch. Number 58. The Twilight Saga. The movie is based on Stephenie Meyer's novel with the same name. It tells a love story of a young teenage girl named Bella, played by Kristen Stewart, who falls in love with the vampire Edward Cullen and following his family's efforts to keep Bella safe from the rest of the vampire community. Amazing performance by Kristen and wonderful screenplay makes this film even more engaging and beautiful. The film is followed by 4 sequels: New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. Number 57. Dark Shadows. The film tells the story of Barnabas Collins, played by Johnny Depp, an 18th century vampire who wakes up in the 20th century. He is cursed by Angelique Bochard, played by Eva Green, a ruthless witch who plots a revenge against Barnabas and his family. Creepy, horror, comedy, and outstanding visuals make this film a weird cocktail to watch. Number 56. Oz the Great and Powerful. This film is based on the novels by L. Frank Baum. Set in 1905 Kansas, this is a story of Oscar Diggs, played by James Franco, a magician and con artist who arrives in the land of Oz. There he encounters the young witch Theodora, played by Mila Kunis, who believes that he is the wizard predicted to become the king of Oz by destroying the evil witch, played by Rachel Weisz. Number 55. Night at the Museum. The film tells the story of Larry, played by Ben Stiller, a divorced man who has been unable to keep a constant job. He takes a job as a night shift security guard at the American Museum of Natural History in New York.
During the course of his job, he realizes that the exhibits come to life at night. The hilarious performances by Ben and amazing visuals makes this movie a fun experience. The film is followed by two sequels, Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, and Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. Number 54, Inkheart. The film tells the story of a bookbinder named Mortimer, played by Braden Fraser, who has the ability to bring fictional characters to life in the real world by reading aloud from books. His daughter Maggie, played by Eliza Bennett, also has the same talent. His wife Reza got stuck into the book due to some accident. Now all Mortimer wants to do is rescue his wife. Beautiful screenplay and beautiful performances by Brandon and Eliza Bennett takes this film to a next level. Number 53, City of Angels. The film tells the story of an angel Seth, played by Nicolas Cage, who falls in love with the mortal woman Dr. Maggie Rice, played by Meg Ryan. He wishes to become human in order to be with her. With the guidance of a man Nathaniel, played by Dennis Franz, Seth tries to undergo the transition. Lovely performance by Meg and Nicholas makes this film even more beautiful. Number 52, Deja Vu. This movie revolves around an ATF agent, Douglas Carlin, played by Denzel Washington, who travels back in time in an attempt to prevent a domestic terrorist attack that takes place in New Orleans and to save the woman he loves. The overall concept of the movie and the performance by Denzel Washington are the best assets of this film. Number 51, Van Helsing. The film tells the story of a vigilante monster hunter, Van Helsing, played by Hugh Jackman. He is tasked to go to Transylvania and destroy Dracula. However, he must also protect the last members of an ancient Romanian family, the Valerius, whose ancestors have vowed to kill Dracula. Hugh Jackman as lead character and Kate Beckinsale as Anna Valerius, the last descendant of the family, create a great impact on screen. Number 50, Jumanji. The film is based on the children's book of the same name written by author Chris Van Allsburg. The story revolves around a mystical board game that comes to life. Alan Parrish, played by Robin Williams, has been trapped inside the game while playing with his best friend in 1969. 26 years later, siblings Judy, played by Kirsten Dunst, and Peter Shepard, played by Bradley Pierce, play the game accidentally, releasing the now adult Alan. After tracking down his friend, Alan decides they should finish the game together to overturn all of the damage it has caused. Interesting screenplay and great performances make this film an experience to watch. The film now has two sequels, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Jumanji, The Next. Number 49, Sorcerers Apprentice. The film tells the story of Balthazar Blake, played by Nicolas Cage, a sorcerer on modern-day Manhattan fighting against the forces of evil while searching for the person who will eventually inherit Merlin's power. In his search, he finds Dave Stutler, played by Jay Baruchel, a highly intelligent physics student. The sorcerer gives his unwilling apprentice a short-term course in the art of science, magic, and sorcery in order to stop evil from destroying the world. Unusual visual effects and great performances played by Nicolas Cage and Jay Baruchel makes this film fantastic to watch. Number 48, Nanny McPhee. Set in Victorian England in the 1850s, the story revolves around a widowed Cedric Brown who has 7 rowdy children. After the death of his wife, Cedric and his children have gradually drifted apart. The children have had a series of nannies whom they have steadily driven out by their rowdy actions. This is an endearing story of how a nanny transforms the life of these 7 supposedly naughty kids and how they begin to love her back. Number 47, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. The ruthless dictator of Britain, played by Jude Law, has the ability to transform himself into a demonic knight. Using this power, he acquired the kingdom which was once fairly ruled by King Arthur's father. This is a story of King Arthur, who demolishes the demonic kingdom ruled by his uncle to provide justice to all mankind. outstanding visuals and dark cinematography enhances the overall impact of the movie. Number 46. Journey to the Center of the Earth series. The film is an adaptation of 1864 fictional novel of the same name written by Jules Verne. The story involves Max Anderson, who believes there are volcanic tubes going towards the center of the Earth. When Max disappears in the middle of his search process, he is declared dead by society. After a few years, his son Sean, played by Josh Hutcherson, and his uncle Trevor, played by Brendan Fraser, embark on a search and rescue mission after Sean finds some pieces of evidence. The journey to find Max, encountering adventures including ancient animals and natural hazards, before eventually coming to the surface again, is really interesting. Another sequel, Journey to the Mysterious Island, is also expected. Number 45. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This movie revolves around a 16-year-old teenage boy, Jake, who's introduced to an unusual world and Miss Peregrine's home by his grandfather, Abe. One day, Jake responds to a phone call from Abe and finds him dying with his eyes removed by an invisible entity described as hollows in the movie. Like his grandfather, Jake also has the ability to see these hollows. Later, Jake visits the home's children and their headmistress, Miss Alma Peregrine, who holds supernatural gifts. Wonderful, peculiar world created by Jane Goldman, mysterious Miss Peregrine played by Eva Green, and nice visuals will make this film even more engaging. Number 44. Prince of Persia. This film is set in ancient Persia approximately 2500 years ago. It's the story of a mischievous boy Dastan who is adopted from the streets by a King Shahraman after his amazing display of bravery. Journey of Dastan, the magical dagger, Jake Gyllenhaal's performance are the best assets of this film. Number 43. Bridge to Terabithia. The film is based on 1977 novel of the same name by author Catherine. The movie tells the story of two bullied kids, Jesse Aarons and Leslie Burke, 12-year-old school friends as well as neighbors, who create a fantasy world called Terabithia. Soon they start spending their free time together in a deserted treehouse with all their fantasy characters. Beautiful performances by both the child artists, supported by visuals, will surely win your heart. Number 42. Constantine. This Keanu Reeves and Rachel Weisz's starrer film is based on the comic book Hellblazer. It tells of a chain-smoking cynic with the ability to recognize the true features of half-angels and half-demons on the human realm. John is punished and sent to hell for attempting suicide in his youth. He is looking for an escape from eternal damnation for his sins. Constantine regularly exorcises demons back to hell to earn kindness from heaven, but has become exhausted over time. Gothic plot, outstanding visuals, and edgy characters will win your heart and leave you wondering about the sins and the dark sides of the world. Number 41. Sleepy Hollow. The movie is loosely based on Washington Irving's 1820 short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The story starts in 1799 when a police constable, Ichabod Crane, played by Johnny Depp, is transferred from New York to investigate a series of murders in the village of Sleepy Hollow by a strange headless horseman. The creepy characters, horror storyline, dark cinematography, gothic visual effects, and weird prosthetics makes this film a very mysterious and unusual experience to watch. Number 40. Hook. The film is based on the novel Peter and Wendy by J.M. Barrie. The plot focuses on an adult Peter Pan who has forgotten all about his childhood. Peter Banning, a successful workaholic corporate lawyer with a wife and two kids, has lost all spark in his life. However, one day Captain Hook, his arch nemesis, returns from the past, kidnaps his children, and Peter is left with no choice but to return to Neverland to save them. Along the journey, his memories come back to him. Beautiful direction by Steven Spielberg and great performance by Robin Williams.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, then please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.